So we are at the end of the Rocket League season, and we are currently in the middle of the Rocket League World Championship. 10 days of back-to-back matches, seeing the best of the best compete against each other for the chance to be called the best team in the world. And I don't know about you, but every time I watch RLCS, it just makes me want to get on the game and play like my favorite pros. Then reality kicks in, and I go down 2 ranks. However, my job is to make sure that doesn't happen to you. You asked for it, so I'm giving it my full Rocket League training routine. Just a few disclaimers. One is that this routine will involve workshop maps, which means it's a PC only training routine. So sorry to my console players, but I will have one in the future for you. The other one is that this routine is a long one, so if you don't have the time to use this, then I recommend you scaling down the time for your benefit. But without further ado, let's get into the routine. So this training routine is split into different categories: car control, ball control, and then the last category is learning something new. But I'll talk more about that a bit later. So for now, let's get to the training routine. Now the first category is training and improving car control. This is just having a full understanding on how your car moves and how each input affects that. And that is in the air as well as on the ground. I think it's important that before you do anything with the ball, you must train how your car works first. The main focus of this part of the routine is to remove what we call blackout moments. And I'm sure everyone from bronze to even SSL feels this moment. So what are blackout moments? It's all the times when you lose control of your car and you physically cannot correct it in time. The most common examples of this are when you lose control in the air. If you have a lack of experience in aerial control, once you lose control, that's it. You fall straight to the ground without recovering. So the blackout moments are the times when your mind blacks out and you can't correct your mistake in time. Now, what is the reason we all have these blackout moments? Well, it's really simple. We just have a lack of muscle memory, which is due to a lack of experience. So for the first training drill, it will be to use a rings map for 20 minutes. Rings maps are definitely the best method for training and focusing on aerial control. There are always difficult twists and turns and it makes it extremely awkward at times. The rings map you use doesn't really matter. I personally recommend Lefamir's rings maps because there are plenty of levels, all at different degrees of difficulty that will definitely help you improve. Now, when you go into rings, I want you to focus on going faster than you usually would do. So find a speed at which you're comfortable with, then go that one notch faster, but not too fast. This part is extremely important because it's taking you out of your comfort zone, and the more uncomfortable you feel, the more blackout moments you'll experience, and this means you are forced to adapt and learn a lot quicker, and that's obviously a good thing. If you feel you're at a pretty high level of aerial control, so for example like me, I can finish a Lefamir's rings map in 10 to 15 minutes consistently, so I find it a lot harder to improve. So if you're like me, then this is the next level of the rings map. And it's by doing the rings on 0 gravity mode. I originally found this method when watching Ravina, a Rocket League content creator that streams on Twitch. For this you need Baki's mod, and what it essentially does is by taking away the gravity on the map, you're forced to change direction a lot more than usual. And this also creates way more blackout moments than usual. I started doing this recently and it showed me just how bad my aerial control actually was. Usually I feel like I don't have many blackout areas, but turns out I have way more than usual. So if you're like me, and you feel like you're not improving on rings maps, then I highly suggest you use this method instead. Now, we have done aerial car control, so now it's time to train ground car control. And this mostly consists of things like drift control, momentum control, and boost control. These are extremely important for recoveries and just overall speed and smoothness of your gameplay. So for drill number 2, we are going to be doing Lefamir's Dacia Spring Electric Challenge for 20 minutes. This map is essentially an obstacle course, where you have limited boosts so you need to keep momentum when necessary, and keep hold of your boost as much as possible. It also forces you to jump and flip in all sorts of different ways, which really helps with keeping momentum in game as well, because there are times when you want to flip different ways when hitting the ball just so you can recover well or keep momentum to stay in the play. And the great thing about this map is that it has different difficulties according to your rank, so I suggest you just play the difficulty that is assigned to your specific rank. If you feel like you need to go down or up a rank, then you can, but I personally suggest you just use the correct one. I think watching players with perfect car control is the most satisfying thing to see in Rocket League. My favorite player to watch is Joyo from Moist Esports, and this is because he has absolute control of his car, and he has the freedom to do anything with his car both on and off the ball. And before you can have control on the ball, you have to have solid control of your car. So I can't stress enough the importance of these drills. Now we have worked on the ability to control our car without the ball, so now we must train our control with the ball. Now the way I define perfect ball control is the ability to have each touch of the ball be exactly where you want it to be, whether that means a power shot into the top corner or an air dribble across the map. I think these both lie under the ball control category. And I don't think I should have to explain to you why ball control is important in a game that is literally car football, but the easier you can control and manipulate the ball the way you want, the better you can manipulate and control the game in general, and also it massively increases your offensive arsenal. So, where should you start? I think it's important to start simple. So for drill number 3, and the first ball control drill, is using Aim Trainer by Coco for 15 minutes. Aim Trainer is arguably the best possible way to train accuracy. Whether it be shooting accuracy or passing accuracy, Aim Trainer helps you with both. Now we load into Aim Trainer, there are 3 options for modifiers of the map, and I want you to select all 3 for this drill, as this gives you different distances, different sizes of the squares, and different angles to hit the ball from. And what I want you to focus on is hitting every ball with the most power you can. So that means hitting as close to the center of the ball as you can. Obviously it varies depending on how high or low you have to hit the ball, but I don't want you to just roll the ball on the floor as a safe option. I really want you to just hit that ball as hard as you can and as close to the target as you can. Being able to hit the ball hard consistently is a very underrated mechanic, and even just improving on something like this could be the difference from you being in Diamond and you being in Champ. This is something I see a lot of Middle Eastern pros do extremely well, especially Team Falcons. It seems every time they clear or shoot the ball, it hits with the most power they can, so using Aim Trainer can cause a huge change in your rank. Now for drill number 4, we will start to train more advanced ball control. So now you will start practicing dribbling the ball. And for this drill we'll be using either Dribble 2 Overhaul or Eversax's dribble course. Now for the majority of you guys, I want you to be using Dribble 2 Overhaul. This is a really good map for all levels of players. The first few levels are very beginner friendly, and the later stages are a challenge even when you're at a high level. Now with Eversax's dribble map, I recommend this is only for people ranked C3 and above. This course is much more intense and it's pretty challenging from the first few levels, so I definitely do not recommend if you aren't confident with your dribbling. Now what I want you to do in this drill is, instead of going through it normally, I want you to complete the level 3 times before you advance to the next. So for example, you must complete level 1 3 times and then move on to level 2. This builds a lot more muscle memory than just going through it normally, because instead of you getting these moments where you beat the level by fluke, it forces you to be consistent and not rely on a stroke of luck. I suggest you do this level for 30 minutes by using the method I explained, and you will start to see quick improvements in your dribbling. Now you can practice drill number 3 and number 4 and your mechanics will still improve at an impressive rate. However, if you're at a high level or you really want to push yourself, then I suggest you include drill number 5 into your training routine. And that is using air dribble gauntlet or air dribble hoops. I am a firm believer that air dribbling is the gateway to improving your aerial, flashy mechanics. And there are a lot of YouTubers and pros that say you don't need to be able to flip reset to get out of Diamond. And they're 100% correct. But if you're aiming to play at a high level, maybe SSL or even Pro, you're going to have to learn these mechanics sooner or later. So why not sooner? Being mechanical is the new meta in Rocket League, and you're simply gonna fall behind if you don't learn them yourself. Every single one of the top pro teams have at least 2 players that use their mechanics to make plays and score goals. And I believe learning air dribbles are the first stepping stones. So these 2 maps are a good way to improve. Now these maps are extremely hard. And honestly, you don't need to be able to complete all the levels, but even being able to complete the first 5 or so levels consistently will make your aerial control significantly better. You're gonna want to spend just 10 to 15 minutes on this map, but make sure you are using the same method I mentioned for drill number 4. Now for my last drill, I want you to spend 20 to 30 minutes on what you personally want to train. Now this is entirely up to you. You could just spend more time on drills 1 to 5, you could use it in free play trying to smooth out your mechanics, or you could spend time learning a new mechanic. While improving is the main goal of this training routine, it is important to have fun with it. It's a long process, so you won't get far if it feels like a drag to improve. I use 15 minutes of this time only focusing on double taps. Being able to read the walls and the backboard is helpful for the speed of your gameplay, and honestly, I just find them so satisfying to score. And usually, I spend the last 15 minutes in free play. But recently, I've been trying to improve my flip resets, and even learn to double flip reset. So for this drill, it's solely for you to keep enjoying yourself when learning the game. So that is the end of my full mechanics training routine. This is what I've been doing recently, and honestly I can see a difference in my consistency. And I'm also hitting shots that I couldn't even attempt to do before. So I hope you guys benefit from it as much as I do. This training routine is not for casual players. As you can see, this whole routine takes around 2 hours to complete. So I understand that people that don't have the time might find it hard to do this consistently. However, I made this training routine for people who are really motivated to improve. So if that is you, then I highly suggest that you give this training routine a try. And for my console players, if you feel like you have been left out and you want a training routine that you can use too, then smash that like button. And if this video gets over 100 likes, then I'll make one in the future too. And make sure you update me on your progress in the comments, and if you have any feedback, you can also leave that in the comment section, or you can tweet me at oneeyedghoulrl. But for now, that's all from me. See you next time.